I'm gonna share with you 7 reasons why your emails keep going to the spam folder, and I'm gonna share with you exactly what you need to do to fix it. Let's get into the content. Number 1, trigger words or phrases. So trigger words or phrases is basically what the spam filters are looking for to say, okay, that's a red flag, and so on and so on. So I'm gonna show you a couple examples so you know exactly what you probably shouldn't do so you can avoid the spam filters throwing you in the spam box, all right? All right, so first thing we can look at is all caps. So you can see how the arrow is pointing to this right here, which is a subject line that says proof, right? So what that does is, okay, that's kind of a red flag. Let's pay attention to that email a lot closer. That's really what's going on. And then right here, all caps again. Now this is all caps, but then on top of that, it says free. Now when it comes to email marketing, when somebody uses the word free, some of the things that I've seen people do over the years is they'll put FRE period E to make it not look like the word free. But of course, you know, these spam filters is gonna start to pick up on that stuff. And this was like way back when I was doing email marketing in 2014, right? Those are just some of the different things that I've seen people do. You could try some of that stuff, but these spam filters are getting smarter and smarter. All right, next thing, trigger phrase. So what this is like things like percentage off. You see right here, percentage off again. Also exclamation points. And I know exclamation points is another thing that like Google Ads is not so friendly on using exclamation points as well. So you want to, you know, really avoid using too many of those. And then right here we got price. So anytime you talk about price, then obviously, you know, they gonna pick that up as something being promotional, and you might not necessarily hit the spam box, but you might hit the promo box, which people typically don't go and click on the promo box like that, right? The goal is to get inside of their primary inbox, and the other one, which is like, I forget exactly which one it is. Maybe it'll come to me a little bit later in the video, but it's another box that you would rather get in than in the spam or the promo box. All right, and then right here we got an attachment. Now that doesn't mean that every time that you send an attachment, it's gonna go to the spam box. That's not what they're saying here. What they're saying is that if you put too much attachments in the email, you know the saying how they say too much of anything is probably not good? That's basically what we're looking at here. So don't look at all of these are just like a dead, oh no, you're going to the spam. No, that's not what's going on. Just make sure you using a lot of these things very minimal. Number 2, low engagement rates. So this is all based on your open rate and your click-through rate. So if nobody ever opens your email, 9 times out of 10, that's gonna hurt your reputation when it comes to email marketing. And eventually what's gonna happen is you're gonna get put on a blacklist. And I'm gonna talk about that a little bit later. Now, when it comes to open rate, this is all gonna be based on where did your audience come from? Because some people use things like solo ads and they go and scrape lists and do all these different things. And you know, people gonna do what they gonna do. But like when it comes to me, I want a clean email list. I don't want an email list that people don't know what they opted in for, right? So it's very, very important for you to make sure that these people that's coming in is people that actually put their information in, and you didn't just go out there and scrape and do all that other stuff, right? So very, very important. Now, another thing, which is the click-through rates. What happens when people actually go and, you know, open your email? Do they actually click over to what you want them to click on? That's very, very important to the ISPs as well. So it goes open rate, okay, they opened it. Okay, now what happens in that experience when you read it? And once they look at that and they see, okay, this person didn't click, and they see every time these people are just not clicking, that's gonna cause you to have low engagement rates. Number 3, lack of authentication. And basically what this is levels of security for your IP, your domain, and your message. All right, so let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. So SPF, okay, so as you can see, I got must have, and highly recommended. Okay, so let's break it down. So the SPF is the IP address authorization check. So what's gonna happen is the ISPs are gonna verify the email that you, the IP that you send it from. And once they verify, okay, that's the IP that you send it from, it's a legitimate IP, that's the email that this domain typically sends from, then at that point, that's the first check. The second check is the DKIM. You can see it says message authenticity verification. So at that point, it's verifying the message to make sure that it's not a spoof message, which is basically what scammers use when they send messages out. They try to get you to click the HTML, and at that point, once you click it, yeah, you're pretty much hacked at that point, right? So it's a lot of that going on, so just be very, very careful, because you don't want to ruin your reputation because you don't have this level of security on your IP and also coming from your domain, all right? All right, so down Down here, you can see, let me go a little bit deeper into them so you understand, but secure yourself from spoofing or phishing, which is what I just talked about, when basically an email, somebody uses like a reputable email, makes theirs look very close to that reputable email, but it's not the real thing, and then you end up getting spoofed. All right, DKIM, prevent possible message modifications, secure yourself from spam attacks. So what can happen, and most people don't know this, is you could send an email out and somebody can intercept into the email. I know this sounds crazy. They can intercept into the email, change what's in the email, maybe put a whole different link in there. And remember, it's still on its way to whoever it's on its way to, which is 9 times out of 10 your email list. And so if this happens because you don't have this level of security on your emails, then when it gets to them, if your email has been changed in any way, whatever that person did is now going to end your reputation on the back end. All right, so this is very, very important. All right, next thing, DMARC. So notice I got highly recommended on this. This is just basically another level of security. All right, so improve email fraud security, set up your own domain authentication procedure. All right, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually show you what all this stuff look like. All right, so I'm gonna go into the email marketing system that I use, and as you can see right here, I'm on mailing settings. Now you can see I have my sender email address, which is the email that I'm gonna be sending from. So that's the first check. Remember we talked about the main 3 levels of security. So I verified my sender email, so they know that's the email I'm gonna be sending from. The next thing is I verified the domain. So you can see there's the domain and there's the, basically it's a domain in itself, which is that email, but basically I put this in front of that email to make that look like a legitimate email rather than using something like a regular Gmail or like a regular Outlook, because then we will fall into that whole DMARC thing, and we don't want to use those emails, which are called free emails, because that's not going to make our deliverability what we wanted. All right, so now we verified our domain, so we good on that. And then they also give you some additional settings. So if I click on DNS settings, what I had to do is I had to put this CNAME, all 3 of these, onto my domain. So that means that I had to go over to my GoDaddy. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I had to go over to my GoDaddy, click on my DNS settings. Let me go ahead and scroll down a little bit. And then you can see right here, boom, we got those same 3 things. I had to add them to my domain. So that way, when I'm sending emails, it's not looking like it's coming from a free email. It's coming from a domain, which is a paid service, which boosts your deliverability rate. Hopefully this is making sense. If it's not, just let me know down below in the comments. All right, next thing, when I send an email, let me go ahead and click right here real quick. This is what you'll be able to see. Like when I send it to them, these are the things they'll see. So first thing is my sender email address. So they see that. And then right here where it says mailed by and signed by, that's where the authentication kicks in, which is the DKIM. So you can see right here, that's the thing that I put in, which was the CNAME. And then right here is signed by Rakeem Madison. So you can know that that's a verified email. That's a legit email. So they don't have to worry about any spoofing. Okay, so that's what you can do to really boost your deliverability rate. Just stack on the security on your stuff, and then that's gonna make your emails look legit. Number 4, blacklisted IP addresses or domains. So anytime that you get on a blacklist for suspicious activity or just straight up spamming, your email is gonna get automatically sent to the spam box. I kid you not. This is something that I went through like years back, and I was sitting here trying to figure this stuff out, getting frustrated, like, man, why do my emails keep going to the spam box? And once I figured it out, I realized, oh, my email, not my email, but my domain and some of the IPs that I was using was on a blacklist. And then once I got off of those blacklists is what I noticed, and it just took a lot of time of me trying to practice, you know, some of the best practices when it comes to email marketing, is that I realized that my stuff wasn't going to spam no more, because I set up a lot of the things that I'm showing you here in this video, but at the same time, I wasn't on any blacklist, and I'm gonna show you here in a moment. So you can see right here, it says IP address blacklist check, and then they put in the IP address, and then you can see all of these are green. So all the greens are good, right? But you can see there's a blacklist right there, and blacklist right there. So anytime that you own those, it's very, very difficult to get your emails into somebody's inbox. Now let me actually show you a software that I use called Zero Bounce, and I'll actually leave a link down below in the description. That link will actually give you access to this tool, so you can be able to do some of the things that I'm about to show you. All right, so now first things first, first, you can see that it says total validations 864. So I went ahead and I put one of my newer email lists inside of here. And what I did was I cleaned my list. All right, so let me actually go to that real quick. So I'm gonna click on validate. And then all I did was I uploaded my list, and you can see it says 99.88% valid. All right, so that means that almost 100% of my email list is clean, which means I don't have any spam traps on there. I don't have any abuse. I don't have any fake emails, like invalid emails. Sometimes people do that. And the reason why is because I consistently clean my list, because I understand that if I keep people on my list that are not engaging, they're not clicking on anything, like that's gonna hurt my reputation. And the more and more they stay on there and the more and more you just keep sending them emails out, you're gonna eventually land on a blacklist. And that's something that I've learned over time. So it's very, very important to use a tool like what I'm sharing with you here, which is Zero Bounce, which allows you to just consistently clean your list. All right, very, very powerful stuff. Now, the next thing is monitoring, like having like a monitor for your blacklist. So when I click on monitor, you can see this is my domain that I mostly send emails from. Now, right here, if I click on this view status, what it's gonna do is it's gonna constantly be going out and making sure that I'm not on any blacklist. And if anything changes, like let's say I do end up on a blacklist, I can go in here. You can see all this right here on the status side. It say, you know, it got pretty much all these green checks. So if I go down, you can see it's all green all across the board, right? I don't have any issues with any blacklist. And it's consistently going out and checking this. Tools like this are extremely powerful to have, especially when you're doing a lot of email marketing, because let's just think about it. If your emails are not getting in somebody's inbox, then guess what? You're 9 times out of 10 not going to be making as much money as you could possibly make, because you're not getting into the inbox, which is very, very important. Number 5, user reports. So this is going to be anything that the user can do, such as unsubscribe, mark your email as spam, and you definitely don't want them to do that, because if you get a whole bunch of marked as spam, meaning they hitting that button and basically saying that all types of content like this that come are marked as spam, that's very, very dangerous. And that's actually the fastest way for you to get on a blacklist. And as I talked about earlier, you don't want to be on a blacklist because your emails will not hit the inbox, period. Straight to the spam box, not even kidding you. All right, so now let's go down to the next one, which is number 6. So number 6 is HTML heavy emails. So if you've ever seen an email like this one right here, where you got like a company logo, formatted text, and then you got like a CTA button, and basically all you got to do is click on this. Once you click on that thing, 9 times out of 10, a lot of times today, it's a spam email. Like it's this new thing going around where it's like these PayPal emails, these McAfee emails, and basically what it'll do, it'll act like it's an invoice that you actually created. And so if you go and open that email and you click on anything, you screwed. You're gonna be hacked. I'm just telling you, be careful out there, because there's a lot of crazy stuff going on with all these scammers out here. All right, so yeah, let's move on from that. Next thing, 7, which is unsubscribe issues. So what this is remember earlier I talked about like marked as spam. So what happens is a lot of the times people forget to put the unsubscribe link inside of the email. So when you don't do this and somebody they don't really like what you sent out, or they just not really messing with you like that, and they're looking for the unsubscribe button or the unsubscribe link, but you don't have it, what'll happen is they'll hit that mark as spam button. And like I talked about earlier, if people are constantly doing that, you're going straight to that blacklist. And that blacklist, it take a while for you to actually get off it. So make sure that you have an unsubscribe link. And let me actually go to let me open up my email real quick. And I just want to show you what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna go to this email right here real quick. And I'm gonna just go ahead and type that email, and okay, so let's find it, and we're gonna go to the bottom of the email. So right here where it says unsubscribe, so you can see that's an unsubscribe link that the email marketing software that I use just automatically puts in there. And if it's not on, you could always go in there and just turn it on, because you actually have to have that legally under the Can Spam Act. So that way, if somebody wants to unsubscribe from you, they can easily do it. Hopefully you got some value from this video, and if you did, definitely go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Also, if you want to get access to Zero Bounce, which is a tool that I showed you that you can monitor for blacklists and also clean your list, then definitely go ahead and use that first link down below in the description. That'll give you instant access, and then you can make email marketing simple. Look forward to seeing you in the next video. Peace.